Because of this freaking
Okay, for
mic.
those of you who are joining us, we're about 10 minutes on the audio, but you can see the whole podcast on the live Facebook feed. There we go, Chris.
There we go. Now we're
Nice.
catching up.
GloucesterCast 358.
I like that voice of the
And now
The
there's also
voiceover.
seeing how the special effects work.
There it is. All right, give us the fade. All right, there you go.
Oh, hey.
Sounds like my fate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so we got that going for us.
Okay.
And so I
all
want to
right.
give a shout out to Heidi for calling me and that she knew that they were, very unique.
I can't imagine anyone not thinking that that was
Well,
right.
she'd seen them. She sees them a lot in Florida, so she just knew they were unique.
We're talking about black skimmers.
Black
that
skimmers.
Kim got photos, and Michael Saka sent in photos, so we have some great pictures of this unique bird that came
Where
to us.
did he see him? What beach was that?
Good Harbor.
Good Harbor. That's where
Good
I saw
Harbor.
them.
Yes, I'm too.
That's right.
Yeah, he had a little right up too.
But I was on the far side of the creek, and I didn't. They were obviously tired, so I didn't want to get very close. So my pictures are pretty far away.
What makes
It's
them
all good.
obviously tired?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Because
Were they
well,
sleepy-eyed?
yeah, they were sleeping. They were sleeping.
No,
Yeah,
they're
they
sleeping.
were resting, and it was
Chilling.
like a time of day when they would usually be feeding. So,
Oh, okay.
and it was
Kim is way more in tune than the average person.
No,
with-
I know.
with-
I
with-
understand.
with
But I was
the-
wondering
like
what the
these
what's
kinds
What?
of-
So what? You think the storms brought him in? They moved
Yeah,
from
I
like
think-
what? Key West or
Right.
something?
from Umberto. I think they. I
Right.
think they.
They were stuck in the tornado and.
So, I think
No,
they're
but
stuck
they,
in some
but
kind
but
of
you'd be
circle.
surprised.
It disturbs their
No,
So-
that's
pattern.
interesting.
You'd be surprised. So what happens,
Well, no,
right?
of course.
Well, we'll have a storm, right? And the storm is still far away, a couple days away.
Yeah.
The lobster catch gets cut in half,
Yeah.
and we're not even seeing the
No.
the effects of it here. But those lobsters,
They know.
somehow or other,
They
if
know.
it's a low pressure or whatever,
Yeah.
they know to dig in,
Hunker down.
down.
Wow.
Well, why
And
don't
it's
they
like-
go in the traps to hunker down?
Yeah, they can
There's
say-
no safer place.
There's no safer place. It's true.
Temporarily.
You have to give him that 411. You have to get that to him
Send an email to all the lobsters out there, Joe.
We get him on Facebook Messenger. So there is a huge controversy with Chris and his lobster catch.
Yeah, I know, fucking
Yeah,
bullshit.
He's
Yeah.
moving.
Yes.
He's moving the goalposts closer.
Is this a math? Is it fuzzy math? What are
It's
we
fuzzy
talking
math.
about here? Okay.
Well, I'm
No,
in
no.
this business to make some money, but yet Joe is not factoring in the value.
All of the
Yeah, like the true value of the lobster. Like if
Okay.
I were to go someplace and buy it retail, so there can't just be an expense. There has to be also a profit.
No. We started out. We're 3 months into this, and we've had a set of parameters that he didn't seem to have a problem with. Right? It was amount of money that he spent total
I
divided
agree.
by the number of lobsters caught, and we
Right.
said this is how much each lobster cost him.
Right.
So assuming he catches more
Yeah,
lobsters
check
each
out.
time, that number should shrink unless he incurs
additional
additional expenses.
Right. I'm not debating that. But then I was standing there watching all these great lobstermen come in and you weighing their lobster and me saying, well, if I was doing that, I've caught 27 lobsters. Let's say
Well, that's
on
not bad.
average
That is good.
they're 1.2 pounds per
1.1.
lobster.
1.1 would be what
It's like
more.
29 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
29 pounds, whatever the going rate is. That's how much, and that's wholesale.
So
Oh, I
he
see.
wants to use.
your math
So his parameter is that now he wants to change
Okay.
it, right? We were doing per
Okay.
lobster because it's a tangible thing everybody can understand. He does. He wants to select a price. Okay, so he
But
wants to
that's gonna
select
fluctuate. It's
in
like buying gas.
in Japan at the Kyoto auction, like where they.
Let me look at the price there.
Yeah, he's gonna look up the price there, like $365 a pound, and he wants to use that for his thing. That's his baseline. Yeah, that's
No,
his
my
baseline.
baseline was freaking Stop and Shop.
No. The problem we had.
If we use,
So wait. Right now, just for the sake of argument, so where are we right now? 27 lobsters.
27 lobsters.
27 lobsters, and what was our cost basis? Because you used Chris's bait, right? You didn't use bait the last time. You didn't have to pay for bait the last time.
I didn't.
Because you used Chris. Okay.
Right.
All right. Let me.
Very nice doing that for me.
No, he's
It's
a
just-
fisherman. He's,
So I'm
he
gonna-
was starting out. He's
okay.
sharing it with you.
And share it with me, yeah.
Let me see here. McCarthy. We'll do the math quickly for people.
Quickly. This is
Yeah.
taking a little longer, Joe.
How many,
Oh.
how many lobster traps do you have now?
8,
8, and you started
Okay.
out with 10.
10.
So now it is September 22nd. The last time he hauled, the last update before this one was September 8th. So this gives you an idea what kind of lobsterman he is. He doesn't haul his gear for 2 weeks. But he has, we have his total cost all in at $540, and he has 27 lobsters. So $540 divided by 27. He's at $20
Yeah.
per lobster right now.
Okay, so then what? But there's still like 3 more months of the season, right?
Yeah, Joe.
So,
If
Chris,
he
your
unties
math
the
would do-
lines, and wait, and you still at 8 traps?
Still at 8,
And
right?
he's still at 8. So he started with 8 traps.
I started with 10.
Started with 10 traps. I'm sorry. He's lost 2, but he's been steady at that 8 trap thing for like at least a good month and a half.
Okay.
So, because I'm dropping the traps where no other traps are. So the other lobstermen can't find me. Because they know I'm dangerous.
They know
'Cause
how
I-
dangerous you are. That's it.
Oh my
I-
gosh.
I'm,
Not only you a threat
You're-
with Matt,
You're
but you're a
inviting trouble.
threat with.
I'm catching 5 lobsters per trap, and they know.
So
they know
that's
I
the
got
other
the
thing he
secret.
said to me. I caught 7 lobsters. I says, how come you got
7.
2 lobsters? Here's 7, but he wants to count the ones that he has to throw back
Yeah.
because they have eggs on them or they're shorts.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He was like, caught that many lobsters.
If
on.
we
Like,
count
no.
those, I'm up to
Fuzzy
like
math.
40.
That's fuzzy.
Fuzzy
I'm like
math.
up to 40. That's a good point.
Fuzzy
I
math.
count those,
That's fuzzy.
even though they weren't edible. It's like, okay, when you go out fishing, recreationally, and you catch a fish,
But
you
that's-
don't keep it. You throw it back. The good thing to do. And when
No.
people say, "Oh, did you go fishing?" Yeah, I caught 3.
Such a stretch.
I can't go
Such a
with that
stretch.
one. That to me is like Brady throwing on the sidelines and warm up. He really threw 500 passes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
Paul
I can't do
Ryan
it.
O'Brien is saying good morning to everybody.
Hey, is she going to enter the contest for the Twinkies?
Yeah.
I don't
Paula.
She probably didn't hear.
Oh,
the-
Paula, give us a reasonable question to answer. Podcast topic, and these
For the
Twinkies could be
Twinkies.
yours.
And it can't be about
The
Antonio Brown.
grandchildren will be tickled.
So, Joe, I
Not
think
their
maybe
parents.
you should put out a survey and ask the viewers what the appropriate way to calculate my
Should we do it per lobster or yeah? But the other way is just so
By value.
variable.
Right,
that
that's
it's
very,
just
well, just
You have to
pick a
settle
date
on
and
a-
time.
You have
There's
to
no
settle on a.
there's no proof when you throw them back in, right?
no. He's
Yeah,
talking
no.
about he's talking about if he should do it by the cost.
Price.
But then
Right,
the price
that's
there's
what I'm
there's
saying,
there's,
yeah.
there's 10 different prices in
All
town.
right. Even a better question is, and this is the other issue that I have today, Joe, is you were questioning whether I was a lobsterman. What was the actual question on one of your posts? Is he a lobsterman or isn't he a lobsterman?
Yeah, based on barely ever going to haul the gear, not putting bait back in the
Yeah, I'm
hauling
not
the gear
sure.
and not rebaiting it when he sent
Yeah.
it back out.
Well, and I think some people had an issue with what I was wearing that day.
Oh,
too.
yeah, the
my
white-
casual.
He had
I'm trying
I
to
mean-
figure out what's on your shirt right now.
Oh,
It looks like
well,
a lobster
well,
claw.
It's a naked lady.
It's not a lobster.
Oh,
No, it's a
there
naked-
we
Not
go.
lobster, yeah.
No,
It's a mermaid
mermaid in a martini glass.
in a
Yeah.
martini
Right.
glass, and she took off her shells, so she's got her boobies. hanging.
She's turned the other way, so.
Yeah.
what
Oh
is
no,
it?
she's
Is that
oh, yeah.
Oh, she's got the tramp stamp on too.
she's got the whale's tail.
What
The
does it
wheels.
say under Requiem? What does it say?
Approved.
Tequila
Oh,
Apparel.
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 Okay, I'm a
I
pal.
don't know.
So his wife has a fetish, a mermaid fetish. If you go to their house, they have mermaids all over the
Mermaids
house.
everywhere.
And
Oh, I know somebody. You know who else does?
Who?
Nancy Marciano does.
Really?
Oh, does she
Yeah,
really?
she loves mermaids too.
So
And
if Charlene was
They
here,
should
she would
follow
say
each other on. They should follow each other on Facebook.
Yeah.
she would say, "No, I don't have the fetish. My husband does.
Oh.
I'm the one who, like 8 years ago, was down New Seabury, down the Cape, and I swear I saw a mermaid out there. I had been drinking,
Yes.
I've been drinking.
Yeah.
At least he qualifies.
Well,
I swear I saw one, and I think it was coming towards me, but then it disappeared.
It's a siren.
And you've gone to see Little Mermaid at least 100 times.
Oh yeah,
We were just
Ariel.
talking about
Drinking, straight, everywhere.
So he and his boat is the Naughty Seas. Did James?
Naughty?
Where did you
James
get?
Eves.
So James
Designed
Eves.
it for me.
Naughty? Naughty or naughty?
Naughty as in a knot.
K-N-O-T-T-Y.
Okay. Like naughty.
Seas. No,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, C.
Yeah.
C
Chris
apostrophe.
and Charlene.
I couldn't tell if you were saying naughty or naughty.
So his James Eves designed the logo for this on the
Side of the
for
Oh,
the name on the
nice.
title, and it's a
That's
mermaid
Holding up a martini glass.
holding up a martini
Oh,
glass.
that's
Oh.
sweet.
Yeah, it's a nice one. So now, Joe, when I'm going 30 down the Innisquam River, everyone's going to know that it's me because I'm driving the Naughty
Full
Seas.
disclosure.
I'm going to say this: you
Don't
are
do
very
that.
careful. When I'm out on your boat, you are. He is very. He's
Unless
very
there's a
careful
big
guy.
ass storm coming.
No, wait. Oh, you weren't out on Friday, were you?
No, we were out beginning of the year when these big black clouds were.
Yeah, I
Coming
couldn't believe
after
the
us.
sailboat that was out in that surf on Friday afternoon. It was.
Oh, were they
Oh
really?
my gosh, it was
That's
amazing.
scary.
Yeah, you could see the sailboat going.
Well, we went through Kate and I went through the. We went through the cut yesterday, and it was and.
Was that your first time driving?
No, we've been
No.
going through a bunch. But so, a bunch of boats had gone ahead of us, and there was a guy right in front of us, and he was just kind of like stopped, and he let all the boats that were in front of him go way ahead. And then we were the last boat, and the bridge attendant was going to shut the thing after us. And we're just waiting there, like, what is this guy doing? And the guy opened it up full throttle and screamed through the bridge. And we went behind him, and I had a moderate amount of speed because you have to have something to control yourself going through there.
Going through
Because
there.
it's like a washing machine. Well, he created such
Oh,
a thing that
Turbulence.
we got kind of lifted up and brought up like probably 10 feet from the side, and then I'm steering this way, and then it, like the wake kind of took us this way towards the other side of the inside of the bridge. Kate was shaking, but we got through fine.
Is that legal to do that?
I don't think that the way he did that was right at all.
I don't know if it's a legal thing. It's more or less a kind of a boater's understanding thing.
Yes, I think that.
Yeah, you kind of.
Boater's etiquette.
Yeah.
Isn't there like a speed
There was
limit
no
or something?
reason for him to do
No,
it.
there's no reason to do it. There's no sign that says they
15
don't
miles, right?
or no wake or whatever.
You wouldn't believe what you
No,
see
you
out
have to have. You almost have to have a wake going through there.
Yeah.
Because there's such a current, But
Yeah. You wouldn't believe what you see out there.
you would not
Yes.
believe.
Well, on the
what
parade
you
of
see.
boats,
I'm
we
surprised that
watching-
there's not way more boating.
We were
there.
watching the parade of boats, and we saw
Yeah,
some
very
people
good
go
point.
through, like you were saying, Joey. Some people going out having a good time, and they just thought maybe it'd be funny, and they went. And you should see what it did to the back guy. You're absolutely correct.
When I was younger, I used to think that the ocean is so wide open that you know like
You can do whatever.
you could do whatever. Really,
Right.
it's not a big deal.
Right.
But like having a boat now and like driving a boat, like you really got to be cognizant. There's so much. Like you have to. Your head's got to be
Yeah.
on a swivel.
Right,
Like
left,
in the
back.
harbor, you always got to be turning and looking and turning and looking and making sure because you're
You got to be
responsible.
paying attention to what your wife and guests are doing on the boat.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit going on.
No, there.
Yeah,
It's true.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be a good boat driver because I'm always like, I'm walking down the street and I'm like looking to see what wildlife is going by or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
The
I'd
other
be
thing-
so. I
Yeah.
think.
The other thing is,
Run
I can't
over.
imagine, so I have this nice, what do you call it, sonar, whatever, it GPS,
Yeah.
and it has the markings of where, like, random rocks kind of are just underneath
okay.
the surface,
Right.
and I can't imagine, back in
I
the
know.
70s,
Yeah.
people
They
have,
didn't have
boats,
that.
and there's none of that kind of technology.
Well, do you think there
How
was-
many times people just, demolish boats?
Do you think there was as many boats out once upon a time? Like you're talking about when you were a kid, like in the 70s, right? Were there in the 80s?
Well, I'm talking
were-
about more,
were there
because of
as
the...
many? Yeah, but were there as many boats out?
Yeah.
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 there were.
Recreational?
Recreational boats.
There's still. I mean, if you look at pictures of Fiestas past,
Yeah.
there was way more boats out
Really?
there on
Oh.
Saturday and Sunday. Like the
You talk
harbor
about
was,
that, yeah.
Wow.
the harbor was like just covered with
A
boats.
sea
Wow.
of
I have
boats.
seen
You know,
that.
but now they have they've stretched out the Fiesta. Like it used to be Fiesta went from Thursday to Sunday, and the sporting events. They had like the eliminations for the same boats, but there wasn't any greasy pole on Thursday and Friday. And then when they added like all these other days and on the water, it's kind of to me it seems like it definitely thinned it out a little bit.
Oh.
I liked it I really do like it when it was just the eliminations during the week,
right, and then
for the same boats.
And then it was Friday,
And then
Saturday, Sunday, or Saturday,
Sunday, unless they needed another elimination round. But like not the greasy bowl. I wish the greasy bowl was just Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Because I think it just makes it that much more special.
Yeah.
But whatever. I mean, I'm sure it's not a big deal. People love it.
I love it. There's so many people that do the Friday walk that are young and starting out. So
Yeah.
it's a good way. I mean, because there's so many like,
Former champions.
Yeah, former champs. So there's a way to get younger guys involved too.
Yeah.
Having the
No,
Friday.
that's true.
Yeah.
But there wouldn't be as many former champs if they didn't have Thursday.
They didn't have Friday. Yeah, if they didn't have Friday.
So we did a staycation, Kate and I,
Oh, nice.
at the Beauport.
Joe and I.
Oh.
Yeah, me and
Joe
Kim. Yes, we snuggled.
And your mermaid. And your mermaid.
Was it wonderful? Yeah.
It was great. I mean, that place is. I
They
mean,
do it nice, don't
Did
they?
you,
It's
did you
really nice.
drive your boat up?
no, but I was thinking
Oh, that'd
it would
be
be
nice if
it
they
would
did
be
that.
amazing if they. It would be absolutely amazing if they allowed them to right along the you know how the playground goes
Yeah,
up
the-
jets out.
Mhm.
If they
Right
allowed
along
them to put a long
Long
dock
dock.
there with
Yeah,
the elbow,
right along
so that it would
yeah.
kind of break the waves
Right.
if it was
Right.
for transient dockage or something like that.
That would be super fun.
Wow.
It would take. I mean, that place is already amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are spaces in the inner harbor that you can like we as
Dockwa.
we talk about Dockwa that you can get, and there's moorings, so it's not totally necessary. But I think it would be any place where you can pull up on the boat. Like we love the studio, and being we sometimes we go to Captain Carlos now only because we can tie up at the Harbor Master's dock
Right.
there.
Right.
So if you could have another one right there, and people could come if from out of town, tie up there, dump some money in town, and then leave.
And then leave. Wow.
Is it-
It would be
Where
awesome.
did we see boats come at dock in, not Farnham's, it was, in Essex, the clam place, on the river. They were coming up the river at high tide and docking at,
Well, yeah, well,
No, Farnham's. Sometimes boats pull all the way
Was
into
it
Farnham's,
Farnham's?
but they also do it at Tom Shays.
Tom Shea.
yeah.
And-
I just thought that seemed like you'd really have to be paying attention, because that's only on the tide, I mean.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you have to
We
really-
That's what we did.
Yeah.
We went down that.
No, she's talking
In the
about like
dock.
there's one that you have to go all the way in the marsh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of.
Yeah.
I've never gone in there by boat, but it seems like it would
We
be.
know up at the fort.
You'd have to know where you're supposed to be.
Up at the fort, they have those. They're empty lots. That's kind of by the ice company, all the way over to the playground. It's an empty area.
Are you talking about on the
other
harbor side?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
on-
the
on
former. That's the well, Jeff Amaro owns one of those.
Mm-hmm.
That's the former Cape Ann Fisheries. I think his
Mm-hmm.
grandfather started that place, and there was a dock there. There was a fishery company there. Next to that was Producers, which was the Kookaroo. Benny Kookaroo, my great grandfather owned it, and there was like he had 16 kids. My grandmother was one of the 16 kids, and they handled fish there, and that got destroyed in a fire, I believe, and I don't know the actual story, but the city took it over, and I don't know if it was because there was so many siblings that they couldn't agree
Wow.
on the money that it needed to so they I don't know if there was a tax issue there or not, but that's recent history.
Well, the one
Th-
that
three
I-
generation 4 generations from where the original guy owned it.
Are you related to Corey Kookaroo?
I am. I'm definitely related to him.
Yeah.
His grandmother was probably a sister of my grandmother.
Your grandmother.
Yeah, Benny.
Wow.
His grandmother was probably, and I'm pretty sure, but
His
not
grandfather,
positive.
probably. If
Huh?
it's Kookaroo, it would be his grandfather, not the sister.
Okay,
Probably.
yeah, you're right. I understand what you're saying. His grandfather, as a Kookaroo, was probably brother
A
of
sibling.
my grandmother,
Okay,
who was
okay.
Felicia Kukuru before she was Felicia Ciaramitaro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know the 1 hour at the time that we've cleaned up there. I know we were over there doing that. And I saw that's where they're putting some of the docks that they're using during the Schooner Fest.
Oh yeah, right.
So I'm just saying, maybe there's some talks about using that for the hotel.
Well, here's the thing about that area. I know that there are fishing boats that have taken out in the past on that wall where Parisi's is and where Mortalaris actually used to be rent from producers, I think it was. And that wall faces the paint factory, right?
Yeah.
That seawall.
Right.
And boats always told us that to take out there is an absolute nightmare, or to tie up there is an absolute nightmare, because there's a huge sea. Like a lot of my fishermen would, like, if they were taking out some other type of product, like they say the rub rails would just get taken off. You know what I mean? They're coming up, get the boom, and then get taken off. Like it's not a great.
Because why?
It's closer to the mouth of the harbor, and there's big boats coming and going through there. It's not protected in any shape or form from the wind.
Okay.
And it's southwest wind comes right down the harbor. See where we are in here, like in Rocky Neck, on this part of the harbor. We're down in a little gully here. People tell us that this is one of the absolute best places that you could have for boaters, because if in a northeast storm, Mount Pleasant, the wind just goes right over our head.
Okay, wow.
And it's like a duck pond here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's duck pond.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what they say anyway.
Well,
And Rocky Neck is the same way.
Just something I've always saw that, and I see it, and I know it's somebody's cleaning it. It's well kept. It's there. You can see that.
Yeah.
So I was just throwing that out there.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
I mean,
I think it's better for transient dockage than it would be for permanent dockage.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if there's a storm, boats plan on get the boats out of there.
It makes
or something
sense
like
now.
that.
You brought it up. Sure.
But that's just my. That's not anything that's been written in stone. Just my observations. I wanted to do a shout out to Extreme Truckinado, Sean Nolan, in Magnolia. Listen to this, because this is another example of why I absolutely love this guy. I brought my car in the morning. It was a little overdue for an oil change, and my brakes were squeaking, right? And I wanted to do a tire rotation. So I bring it in and I say, I think I need new brakes, and I need an oil change, rotate the tires, whatever. I come back. He just changed the oil and rotated the tires. He goes, I looked at the brakes. You got plenty of meat left. Don't worry about it. In this day and age,
of course, yeah.
right? In this day and age, you say, I think I need new brakes.
They're on it.
Right.
They're on it.
I'm not saying that there aren't other honest car repair places.
Yeah, but that's.
But if I had gone to Toyota and said that, I would have had a new set of $800 set of brakes.
You know what? You know what happened to me with the? I went to the I had to have a recall. I went to the dealership, and they gave me this list of
Printout. Yeah.
of all the things that
$1,100. I bet.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Somewhere around
They
there.
did the same thing to my mother.
Right. So I took it to Family Car Care, and I said, "Do I need all these things? Like, how's my car?" And they were like, "No."
No.
No.
Because the service writers get
Yeah.
2 to 3% for everything that they can get you to do. There's an incentive for them. So they have programs now written that if you go to car dealerships. So I brought my mother had her car, and she needed oil change or whatever, right? And she goes there, and I tell the guy here, she needs an oil change, and she says, "Well, we're going to go through it. We're going to do our 21-point inspection, and we'll let you know."
Right.
Thing I go, "No, she just needs an oil change. We just need an oil change." She goes, "No, yeah, but before we do the oil change, we're going to send you an email. Where can we email you so you can see all the things that she may or may not need?" Sure enough, there's a list a mile long.
Right.
11. My mother, who's on a totally, has to work right now, is on a fixed income, and they're trying to pork her for $1,100 worth of, it's like, the interior air filter for the cabin air pressure filter and all this bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's just
She drive a plane?
unscrupulous. Right?
Does she?
It is unscrupulous. So,
Yeah,
So,
so,
now, so I just stopped going to the dealer unless it's.
I don't go to the dealer.
I just fixed it myself.
Yeah.
Oh, now we know where to go.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
He does.
Bring your
My
guys
son
over.
fixes stuff on his truck all the time.
But I wanted to give a
Yeah.
shout out to Sean Nolan, and he called. Oh, it's great.
And the shuttle service is pretty good too.
The shuttle service. If you need him, he'll send a guy for you so you can get your car back.
Nice.
That is good to know.
And me.
And Chris. No, but if I'm desperate, he'll send a guy to come get the
So
car.
you were desperate, but you called me.
You're retired. You're retired. Hey, we
Strike
were.
that.
You're
Strike
retired.
that from the record,
You're
please.
You're retired, not right?
Yeah.
Hey, we help each other out. If you called me, I would have done the same thing for you. We went to Browns. We did a great interview with the
Yeah,
Browns.
that was great, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
So Browns is 2 wharfs over from me. Only 2 wharfs.
Only 2
But I had never been in the back part. Never been in the back part, right? Peter Bent, legendary waterfront Gloucester guy. We spoke with Peter Bent's son, Rob, and what I didn't realize is that they have 25 employees over there.
Oh.
25.
That's amazing. That's true.
That's a lot of employees,
Yeah,
and those are good jobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is.
And you don't think about that.
It's not a huge
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
25 families,
What kind of jobs are they?
Shrink wrapping, engine work. They're billing out at not cheap money because that's
Plus, they sell stuff. There's retail, so
they
there's a
have
couple people
retail.
working on
They
retail.
have the
Boat
gas
sales,
stock.
motor sales.
Oh, that's great.
But he gave us great information about what we should do with our boats before we put them away for the
Yeah,
winter.
the
Oh,
winter ice.
awesome.
That was
Yeah, he said get
very
rid of them.
interesting.
Yeah.
He said sell them.
And then just Friday, Chris and I went, and he was looking for a little boat for his daughter and a boat for his boat that's on a mooring. We found him on Craigslist this classic Boston whaler, and from the pictures, it looked like it was probably like maybe 9-10 years old. I think it was 1973, and it's in. I would say it's in
Mint condition.
90% of new condition.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Beautiful. I
ridiculous.
didn't realize it was 1973.
So where will you keep your boats for the winter? Where are you?
Mine's gonna be on a trailer in my yard.
in your yard.
Yeah, and my neighbor has a large yard, and he lets me store it there.
Very nice. So
It's
do
very
you,
nice of him.
when you guys are out there, do you ever go by that beautiful yacht, the Blue Guitar? Do you ever go by that? Have you been up close to it?
The one over by Niles.
Yeah.
By Eastern Point. It's part
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I went by it Wednesday when I went out
Just
lobstering.
I always see the schooner landing, the schooner Ardell, like
Going right around.
going right around.
Yeah,
it, going,
yeah.
Yeah,
You know what? There's always been this. There's always been that rumor that it was Eric Clapton's, but I thought that someone dispelled
I
that
think
rumor.
I think somebody wrote that he owned it for a very short period of time.
Oh,
Yeah,
really? Is
yeah,
that what it was?
Yeah, but he does not own it
He
currently.
doesn't own it. Yeah, I docked my boat. I pulled my boat aside and jumped on. And I asked the people who were on it. They said no, it's not.
Yeah,
Not his.
yeah, but
They
that
have
boat's
a
been out
lobster.
there. That boat's
Yeah,
been
so
out
there
there
are other
for years now.
Yeah,
Like in the
it's
summer.
It's just so pretty.
It is a beautiful boat.
It's just
Yeah.
so pretty. I
Is
don't
that the
usually- I
one
don't
that was
usually have a
parked
boat-
by the cut bridge last year? There was
No.
a beautiful one parked almost the entire, at least a month.
No,
Right outside the cut bridge last year.
that wasn't
No,
it.
I
No.
think they always. I think I heard
Yeah,
that
I
they
think-
always park down by Eastern.
I think that
Point.
might be there. So I spoke. Who did I speak with yesterday that just bought a boat, and they immediately got a mooring out by Niles Beach.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. Like, so I see boats there at Niles Beach, just moored there, right in the little off the beach. So if you have a mooring there, right? Can anybody just moor their boat there?
You have to apply. No, you have to
Oh,
apply with the
okay.
harbor master. The harbor master
Okay.
has a certain number of transient docket moorings.
Moor, okay.
That you can call him.
Alright.
They'll tell you where to go. You go there, and they can pick you up on their shuttle.
Yeah, because it's
Right.
so easy. Just if you're on Niles Beach, you just like row your
Yeah.
But
boat.
up until a couple of years ago, the number I don't know the exact number of how many moorings they have increased in the harbor, but it's a substantial number.
Yeah.
That for years, there were certain groups in the city that were fighting against having more moorings in the harbor, and as of late, they've
harbor pollution.
Right. Every coastline community that I'm filming at or around, they have
loaded
with boats.
If you go to Marblehead Harbor, you see
Oh my God,
wild. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
they're on the
It's
extreme.
insane.
Yeah.
They're on the extreme.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now even Manchester by the Sea is.
yeah, even
But
Manchester, but you try to
that
come
is-
in
yeah,
there.
I was
You're
watching
like bobbing
somebody-
and a weaving.
So Bo,
Yes.
our mascot,
Yes.
and he peed on the desk.
Yes, and then
He shit on the floor over there
Which
in the
is
office.
still over there.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think it's still over.
Oh,
There's
oh,
a
yeah,
milk crate over the
There's a
top.
milk crate.
There's a milk crate.
Yeah.
there's a milk
I
crate
wonder
on
if
top.
the napkin is underneath. No, I still see the napkin.
So how come Bo isn't house trained yet?
He is house trained.
Well, why is he
At
picking
his
that?
house.
At Joe's house.
Yes, he's fine in my house.
He's still young though. He's still a pup. He hasn't even
still-
filled out yet.
Yeah.
So he took a dump at my house. So, as you know, I post these things because I find them hilarious, right?
Oh, did you?
You know,
hear
because
from-
I have a very low
You have potty
level
issues.
of I have a low fart jokes. You'll get me to laugh at a fart joke 100 times out of 100. Right?
You know how I cured that
That's
with my
why we like
granddaughter
each
and with
other.
my own kids. Say, if you're going to talk bathroom talk, go into the bathroom. That cures them pretty quickly because
Okay,
they,
well,
they,
the
they don't
problem
want to
is-
be isolated.
The only problem around here is you're not going in this bathroom.
Yeah, you don't want to go in this.
Just go.
And
But-
speaking of that, Bo pooped right outside of the bathroom.
Right outside of my bathroom.
So he was trying to
He was
send us.
trying.
He was trying. He
was
just couldn't
trying.
reach the toilet.
But if you
yet.
read,
He's actually toilet trained.
Yes.
Anyway,
so I post these things because I think they're hilarious, and if you read the Facebook comments of people of the self-righteous dog owners that just absolutely go to
Oh, I
town,
didn't read
calling
that.
me a bad dog owner. I'm a bad dog owner.
Well, you are.
You are, Joe.
Bad dog owner.
No.
And it just goes on and on. And I'm like, oh, fucking people.
So I was there for 4 hours.
Aw,
I was there for 4 hours.
The
and we literally
kids took the dog for
Oh,
2
what?
walks because they were
Yeah.
fighting. They were fighting over who could take him for more of a
Who could take
walk.
him for a walk?
Right, so
Right.
the dog went for 2 walks. So that it wasn't that we locked him in the house and he couldn't go out. He was scratching to get out so he could take a shit. No,
But he locked him in the shower.
I didn't even know he was in the shower. Someone put him in the shower. I never even saw that he was in the
Joe
shower
was
until
so
he was-
upset he
clever.
threw him in the shower and said, "Take that."
I thought that
That's
was
not
clever.
true.
I thought that was a clever
I didn't
idea.
throw him in the shower. I didn't even know he was in the shower until I saw the pictures of him in the shower. So,
So-
Great
So were
size
the
space.
girls babysitting for him? Is that what?
Well, we can't blame it on the girls. I was there for 4 hours with him. We took our eye off of him for no more than 5 minutes.
yeah.
And that's when
and
you did it. But then if you
he
see it
pooped.
right away and you scoop it up, then
Right.
it doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't.
It wasn't. It
It
was
wasn't.
just.
Was it on a rug?
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
No,
See,
then it
so
would be a
they-
problem.
Right.
No, it was on. It was on the
I am,
hardwood floor.
but I'm so thankful Joe came this close to stepping in it.
bare feet.
He
Bare
had
feet.
no, barefoot.
Oh,
Bare feet.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
It would have been.
that would have been. It
bad.
would have been over with.
Yeah.
The tough man's.
I came out of the bathroom and I was like, and then I looked down and because I had obviously walked over it to get into the bathroom and I didn't see it.
Right.
It would have been really bad.
So I think we got to set the record straight. Joe is not the owner
Joe is not
of
the owner.
Bo. I am the owner.
Right.
So if you have issues with how I take care of my dog, text me, not Joe. Okay? And then secondly, he's 5 months old.
Yeah.
So according to the National Dog Federation,
Oh, okay.
puppies have a tendency to poop in houses. Get over it. Any questions?
We'll be happy to entertain.
It's true though. It's true though. This is what I thought because in the when we first posted out when he
Have a Twinkie. Yeah, stick it in my mouth.
when he first pooped and when we first pooped, we had a ton of people, dog owners, saying, "Oh, that happens all the time with new puppies. This is what happens. He's a puppy. What else can you expect?" Now, they're like, oh, you're a bad dog. It's not the dog's fault, it's your fault. But no, this is what, just like if you had a child, did your child not have to wear a diaper, or was it you a bad parent because your child didn't poop on the potty when they were 5 months old?
Yeah. And I told Joe, I said, thank God, because when this exchange was taking place, and I apologized to him and Kate for my dog pooping in his house, I was going to actually use some humor and say, don't worry, I put the dog down. And
God forbid.
God forbid.
would you imagine
The literal Facebook police with minds.
Be clear.
Oh
you
my
did not
God.
do that.
Yeah.
It's always alive and well.
No, just my comedic mind.
Yeah.
Just a joke. Just a joke.
God forbid. You can't do that, though.
You cannot do that.
Can't do that.
No.
Yeah.
You know what? You need to get one of those like rubbery fake poops that my son used to have.
And I still have at my house.
Yeah.
Of course you do. Kim, I have a couple other topics, but I forgot to ask you if you had any topics this morning before we go any further.
You know what? I ran out of the house so quickly. I was going to talk about the black
Kim
skimmers
overslept.
and the surf, and that's
Okay, so we talked about those. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I didn't know.
Thank you.
Oh, the question I have for Kim is, Joe was sharing with me the butterfly migration.
Yes,
Has that taken place?
because we've been seeing a lot of.
Yeah, so it hasn't been one big huge mass coming through, but I'm still but it's been wonderful, good solid numbers just coming through, so that's been really awesome.
So it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily going to be this. So I was explaining to him that normally this time of year, every morning, you go out to
I
Eastern
do.
Point
I do.
to look for overnight. There'll be there'll be trees that are completely covered in butterflies.
So there's not just Eastern Point. There's like 6 stations that I go to. I check on them a couple times a day, and they only do that roosting thing when it's cold. So it's been the first night when we had good numbers, they did roost because it was cold, and it was very cold and windy that night. Now it's gotten warm again, so they're spread out.
They're confused.
No, I just see that they don't need to roost like that. They roost together for warmth and protection from the wind. So they don't need to do that right now. So when you see them, they're just going here and there. They're sleeping in like 20, 30 different trees right now. They're not sleeping all in one place right now.
How dare them?
Yeah, because we saw one on Wingashi.
On Wingashi,
And that's
yeah.
what spurred the conversation. And I had told him
Freaking
that there have been times, and you've captured it, right, where they will amass and then all at once kind of go across the harbor, and it looks like a black cloud.
Yeah, so I do have a batch of photos from because they started really early this year. Well, compared to the last couple of years. The last couple of years it's been relatively late. This year it's relatively early. So what's been really nice is that they're nectaring on. There's still a lot of things blooming, which is really good for them to fortify them for the migration. So I haven't been posting my pictures because people are trampling the wildflowers. So I'm waiting until I'm waiting, until it's further along, and before I post the pictures. So I have some.
So this
really
is breaking
knockout
news.
pictures.
Butterflies sleep around? I didn't know.
That's what I took from
40
that.
different.
When it's cold.
When it's cold.
I got some amazing photos of a pair of monarchs mating, and they didn't get the 411 that they're not supposed to mate right now. So they're just like, because they
Global warming.
I don't know what it. No, every year there's I find a pair mating. It's pretty funny. Anyways, but I was gonna make that a post this week.
Yeah.
There you go.
Did someone text about a dog?
Did somebody text her?
Pat,
No, about my dog.
no. Pat, you have
Pat, do we have any viewers?
We have 4 viewers.
no, but
We
we get most of the viewers when we post a whole link, and they can just see it anytime.
Yeah.
Pat, you want to talk about a hat saving little item?
Cat saving. Yeah.
I had a little Amazon treat to myself this week, and I bought this hat clip, which has clips on both ends.
Roach clips on each side, so
Yeah,
she can smoke her
exactly. You can use it for more
marijuana.
than one purpose.
Don't lose it on an open boat.
I lost a cap on a whale watch. Went flying out to sea, and I felt so bad. And then
You're polluting?
Accidentally, yeah, I did. I know, I felt terrible.
You didn't jump in and grab it?
So I spent a whole $5.50 on Amazon. I put the link. I gave it to Joey, and it worked like a charm on the last whale watch.
It looks like a mitten clip almost.
It could be. You could use it for other things.
You could actually use it as a mitten clip.
Yeah. And it's nice because if I clip it to the back of my shirt, and when I take my hat off, I could just rest my hat. I don't have to find a place
Like
to put
this.
my
Especially
hat.
if you're trying to hold your camera and
Right,
everything else. Yeah.
right. And the other Amazon purchase I made this week were a set of these bags in various sizes with tags on them that have their weight listed, so that when you go to the store and buy produce or something, you can use these instead of the thin plastic bags.
Oh, that's great.
And
Will they
weight-
keep moisture in?
I used them this morning. Well, I don't know.
Are they mesh or are they?
They're sort of meshy, but I used it on the chicken this morning, and nothing.
They look like my underwear.
And it didn't leak out from the inside.
They look like the stuff inside a bathing suit.
Yeah, it does look a little bit like that.
It does.
Can I try it on?
It looks very. No, you may not.
We'll check the weight. We'll check
we'll
the weight.
see.
Accuracy.
They don't have the minis.
Yeah, I've forgotten how much these were, but I can't wait to take them to the store. I did put some chicken in this one earlier today. I should probably set that aside just in case it needs to be rinsed out.
Oh, that's fine. It's in a good home. It's in a good home.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
That's the salmonella one.
Aren't the single-use plastic bags that they sell produce in, aren't those biodegradable? Those ones?
The green ones I think
They
are,
are.
but I don't think the other ones
Those
are.
okay.
But I don't like to take them regardless.
And regardless, me neither, yeah.
So I will give this a try and see what happens.
To me, they look like. I bet you that they sell the same exact
They're
product
probably the same.
for packing. Like they have these packing systems for traveling.
Yeah.
And if you, because I was looking at the for the dry bag to have different bags with like the electronic stuff in here, or change clothes here, like cleaning supplies here. So you can just pull them all out at one thing instead of having everything all jumbled in the bottom of the dry sack. But a lot of people use packing cubes when they travel, and they have individual days all packed in a cube in a
Joey
flat
Foot is chiming in. Good
Hi, Joey
morning.
Fit. Good morning. Good morning to you, Joey.
Joe, just a quick shout out because part of your staycation was a stop at Yella.
Yeah, Yellow.
Kate's first time at Yella,
Oh, okay.
and once again, just outstanding.
Not just outstanding food, outstanding service.
Service.
She was-
Lucy
Lucy.
in the sky.
Shout out to Lucy at Yella. Yeah.
Lucy, thank you, Lucy. Great service. Thanks for putting up with us. Of course, we were the loudest in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Was the owner there? Were they there?
She was not.
She was not.
She had just left.
Okay. She's usually
so
there.
we missed. Yeah, we were on the late end. We were at 8:00. But food was great. Joey, I convinced him to try their steak with I don't know what spices they put on it.
They have it's what's great about there's a lot of great things about it, but one of the things that sets it apart is the spices that they use. There's a lot of places that you can go to and get sort of the same variation of the same meal, and things there are very unique and delicious. Yeah.
It was great.
You haven't been there yet?
Yeah, I've been a couple of times.
Oh yeah, and you thought it was great, right?
Oh, it was out of this world.
Yeah, I think so too.
If you live in Gloucester or the surrounding area, 10-20 mile radius. It's
We
a
noticed.
no-brainer.
We noticed. So we were at Beauport Friday night, and what we had noticed was, at Yella, there was a lot of people that were staying at Beauport that were having dinner at Yella.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
that's
I mean, that hotel.
I think they're quickly going to outgrow that location there.
What, Yella?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it was it. Well, this is the interesting thing. I would say a third of their seating is out on that deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when the cold
There's
weather
a lot of
comes,
seats on the back.
But
I was thinking what they ought to do is do what they did at Captain Carlos. Originally, Captain Carlos was
Was
a
it open
deck
like that?
with just and then they put one year they put in screens, like it was a screened-in deck, and then the
And
next year when the
was
screens were, they put in windows.
windows.
I think that they may want to think about trying to do
I
that
know
because there's
she's
plenty
gonna-
of parking there.
Right,
Parking's not an issue.
The parking's
I think she's
awesome.
bringing in heaters too. So
Oh, that's
and they got
wonderful.
blankets for
Well,
everybody.
you know what? If they have the heaters, then you can probably sit out there through,
Yeah.
October.
Yeah.
And
I
then,
think you
and
slow
then
down in the
and then
winter
it
anyway.
slows
Yeah,
down,
that's
right?
true.
So
Yeah.
maybe,
That's,
I hope they do really well this winter.
Yeah, no, I hope so. Well, they do close. They're closing in December for 2 months
For
or
2
3
months?
months.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
unfortunately, we confirmed that, but because of the liquor license or the license that they have,
you know, that's
They
good.
get
I
shut
think that's a good thing that certain places close down.
Have you?
it's
been
hard
to
when
the-
your favorites
yeah,
shut down.
yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but like,
but we still have Duckworth is only
That-
closed for 1 month,
Right,
right?
yeah.
And we still have the Franklin.
Franklin,
right?
yeah.
We still
Tono.
have
Passports,
Tono.
Tono.
So, have you guys been to the antique table?
no, I
Not
haven't.
yet.
We got to put that on our
you,
list.
You
I
gotta
know.
go. You have to go.
People, a lot of people
the,
say
the
that.
food, everything I've had there.
I've
is
been to the
absolutely
antique
And it's,
table.
and it's,
Not-
it's
not
reasonably
this one.
priced too.
It's fairly reasonably priced. It's comparable to Tano.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they have the most beautiful outdoor seating area that I've ever seen. It's like this beautiful garden overlooking a.
Wait, where does what space was the former space?
In the seven Central.
And they have a garden space.
Yeah, it's
Where?
um,
Out back.
Yeah.
a deck with
Really?
just beautiful, gorgeous.
Yeah.
And they haven't.
we have to go.
They haven't opened it all summer. They don't open the deck because they don't have enough employees.
Wow.
They cannot
Yeah.
find work. They cannot find. They cannot
Keep
find
hearing
workers.
that. I keep
There
hearing
has
that.
never been a time
Yeah.
where there's been more like so.
Right. I know.
All these people that complain about,
Not being able to work.
well, not just that,
It's the
like
type
not
of
being
work.
able to find a place to live or anything like that. It's like
Oh, speaking of that, Gloucester has a new resident,
Brendan McCarthy.
Brendan McCarthy.
Oh,
My
really?
son, his offer just got accepted for a new condo.
Oh, great.
On Washington Square.
On Washington Square.
Which is the street that my father was born in.
Yeah,
Oh, that's so awesome.
yeah. So he's really excited.
That's great.
It's great house that a builder came in and did all over.
It's an older house.
It was an older house, but the builder
Yeah.
just
kept
totally gutted
the,
it.
kept the beautiful
Yeah,
exterior
yeah.
and then did the
So,
interior renovation.
Yeah, so he, it's amazing in life, your children and the different things that happen. It's crazy.
And he does what? What's his job that brought him back here?
Well, no, he's been living with us. So
I know, but I meant, why is he staying? What's the job that he's staying?
he's not staying.
He didn't
for
come
a
here
job.
for a job. He worked in Newburyport.
Yeah, he works in Newburyport. But when I gave him the option, or when he told us where he wanted to live,
He chose
Gloucester was like,
Yeah, that's
he's
great.
like, what? He's gotten spoiled like all of
Right.
us. He's like, why would you leave here? You have
Right.
access to great food, great people,
Yeah.
great bars,
Yeah.
the beach.
Yeah.
So, and I think he wanted to stay close to
Mama.
mom and the washer machine and dryer and food.
We know that.
Speaking
He's
of
not stupid. He's
so
not
speaking of
stupid.
young people, Tuffy, his daughter, just is getting married this
shit.
weekend.
Oh wow!
But the weird thing to me is when Tuffy came here to start taking out his lobsters here.
Yeah.
She was a
She's
baby.
little, right.
She was
That's
just a
crazy,
baby, and
yeah.
now she's getting married. And I'm like,
And her
Are you
name's
kidding me?
DeLacy, right? What's her name?
Deja.
Deja.
So the name of his boat is Deja Lise. So one of his daughter's name is Deja, and the other one is Elise.
Elise,
Deja
okay.
Lise.
Deja.
So
Okay.
it's just crazy. So he had always sent us photos over the years
Right.
of her on the boat, like occasionally going out on the
Right.
boat. So
Right.
I put the
seen-
post.
right. Yeah, I've
I
seen
put the
some-
post up today
Oh, you did?
of her as a baby holding a lobster. As a young adult holding a
She's
lobster.
adorable. Like, she's
Yeah, a beautiful kid. And so he's at
So
he's at the
where are they getting married?
New York City
Yeah.
roof deck.
Sounds
Oh,
like someone's
you guys are gonna have to.
What topics
Oh,
do you
Trails
want
and
to-
Sales.
Trails
Pat?
and
Trails and Sales.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
I don't know if any of you gone on any of the events yet.
I gotta leave
Trails
you
and
guys
Sales
alone.
Events?
I gotta go up to Nashua.
Okay.
See you, viewers.
All right.
See you,
Good to
listeners.
see ya.
Bye, Chris.
What happened?
Bye.
I just
See ya.
I don't think we resolved the lobster thing, but
No.
we have to leave it to some of the viewers.
Hi, you
to
can sit
chime
over
in.
here if you want.
Go, Pat. Sit in the chair, Pat.
Wow.
Wow,
Sit
look
in
at
the
this.
chair, Pat. Sit in the chair.
Back, back.
Whoa, I've been invited to sit in the chair.
Yes.
Didn't just
Wow.
steal it.
Ready?
Sometimes I
See?
do. Sometimes I do. What does
Look,
this
wearing
sound?
the shirt
Let's
and
see what
wearing
this.
the-
Oh,
Yeah,
look at this.
yeah. Let's see what does this
Oh, with
sound
the
like.
Good Morning Gloucester shirt, too.
Oh, I like the way
Nice.
this.
Sounds,
Test,
yeah.
test.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Anyway,
Sorry.
yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Jim.
Wait. There. How's that? Wait.
Oh, that's
Okay.
great. I won't scream anymore.
There we go. There.
Wow,
How
as
does
soon as
it?
Pat got on, we're up to 10.
I'll go tell Joey that the numbers is going through the roof.
Jumping.
See you guys. Good to see you.
Take care. Anyway, Trails and Sales is this week. And I went to the Ice House tour yesterday morning at
Oh,
11
that's-
o'clock. That they're
that's
going to
super fun.
repeat it next week at 11 o'clock. So I'd recommend anybody that hasn't done that in a while. That was a Scott
Very
did a
fun,
great
yeah.
job. I sent a lot of people from the visitor center down for that this week, and I will next week as well. And then also this week I'm going to go to see the Vikings in Salem.
Oh, awesome.
Hoping to get catch them.
So is that it's a Viking boat, right? A Viking
Yeah,
ship?
yeah.
They were here at Maritime Gloucester. recently.
Vikings in port, it
Yeah.
says,
Huh.
and flagship Polaris.
Polaris was here in Gloucester.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, about a year ago or so.
This looks like, yeah. So I'm going to try this this weekend. There's a couple of other events, but one of the things that Scott told us was they're talking about maybe changing the name or adjusting the name of the event a little bit,
Oh yeah.
and calling it Trails and Sales and Historic Tales, which I thought was
That's
great
interesting.
idea.
That's a good idea.
a great idea. But
so
these,
is the does that have the because I've been seeing the schooners out so much more lately. Are our schooners
I haven't
going
s-
out more?
I haven't seen that in here.
Huh.
There's a listing of events by community as well
Oh,
as a
okay.
listing of events by the type, nature or related or water related or
Okay.
whatever. So I have a few picked out for this week that I want to give a go. They're free. It's all over Essex County, and it's just a great deal.
Or should we walk from Ravenswood to Raised Chasm?
I was trying to figure that one out.
Yeah.
How does that
Right.
go? Because
Yeah.
we were trying to figure that you have to cross a road.
You have to cross the road.
Yeah.
I don't see how you could not cross
Right.
the road.
Right. And is it walkable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they do have this. So, are the schooner sales free as well?
Yeah, they had some.
Really?
They had some on there. I saw.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
So-
Sustainable foraging. I'm just looking at the Gloucester thing. Sustainable foraging, wild food, and medicine by the sea. Hosted by the Magnolia Library and Community Center. Wow, that sounds really interesting. That's Sunday the
Yeah, there's-
29th.
Next week.
Next
So there's a
week.
bunch of stuff. There's stuff all this week. By the time this is posted, it'll be a little too late for this weekend, but next weekend
Next weekend. So
and
what
during
is-
the week.
Okay, so Saturday the 28th at 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. is a schooner sail on the Thomas Lanning.
Oh,
So that sounds wonderful.
yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you know that?
We
You know,
have,
I was.
I'm
What?
sorry, Pauline Skips. Hello, Pauline.
Does she have a question for us?
Well, it's not a question, but she has a comment here, and it sounds, it says, I will not be in Ipswich today doing a live painting demo. I have a bad cold.
Oh, yeah.
So-
She's in there. She's in the Trails and Sales to have a painting event.
Oh.
So that's why she brought it up.
Because
so.
yeah, I went to Ipswich to the gallery
Right.
at the visitor center,
Right.
and then it had that featured the Essex business women
Okay.
in there, and so I chatted with Anne
Yeah.
from Lost Treasures, I think it was, and they were to have a reception the next night, and they have their display up all week as far as I know, and I guess Pauline's event was supposed to be today. That's too bad. I'm sorry, Pauline. I hope you feel better soon.
So, yeah, I hope you feel better, Pauline. There's a cold going around. My husband has it too.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, my husband has it too.
Oh,
And it's
see,
it's real. It's knocks them
Charlotte
out.
doesn't have it, right?
No,
She's so
no,
far
she-
so good
so
on
far
that.
So good.
That's good.
Right, She spends a lot of time with her grandpa too, so I'm glad she hasn't caught it yet. So.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people inside that the Ice House store yesterday.
There had to be. I'm going to say there were about. I'm going to estimate it about 30, 25 to 30.
Well, that's great because they do those tours all the time, right?
Right.
So to continually have.
And a lot of them were
like
local.
that.
A lot of them were local. Not too many from out of state.
He started
Almost
out that
everybody
way
was
saying, "Tell me
from.
where
Yeah.
you're from." And we heard a lot of local.
Right.
Oh, really?
Right.
Huh.
Yeah. I'm going to do a post about that to remind people about next week's tour.
So, a shout out to Scott Memhart.
He did a great job.
He's also just an amazing. He's our Ward 1 city councilor, and he just is just amazing. He's just so on the ball with everything.
Oh,
so,
that's good.
So in
That's
tune,
good to hear.
So in touch. Yeah, he's really. I really like Scott. He's
And he
doing an
does a
awesome
great
job.
tour. So that was
He's doing an
It's
awesome
great to
job.
have the boss man doing the tour. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was definitely fun.
So-
There was a young boy in there, and he was probably about 10 or 11, and he was going to be a little reluctant about whether he really wanted to go on this tour or not. It opened up with some talking, which I think didn't engage him at the beginning. I'm sure all he heard was the Charlie Brown blah 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 thing going on. But I wanted to lean over it. We had taken our kids on that tour a long time ago, probably. My son was probably 10 or 11 at the time.
Age? Oh, yeah.
That's how long, which is now 15 or so years ago. But and they really liked it, and I wanted to lean over to him and said, "You're gonna like this, so stick with it." And he did stick with. I didn't talk to him, but he did stick with it, and I think he did like it. So yeah, lots of trails and sales events. Let's see here. Not seeing anything else on Joey's list. What have you got, Kim, for us here?
Well, Joey writes a few things that kind of triggered some of his memories, so I'm sure he's going to be popping back in.
Yeah, he's still got Antonio Brown poll results.
I don't think he wants to.
But we're not going to, I can't speak to that in any way. So neither, I'm guessing, possibly not you either.
Not me.
Just to guess.
Just what I hear on the news, and it
Right.
isn't good. So I'm surprised I don't think he really.
We
probably
know
don't
they
really
had
enjoy
a
that.
wonderful event hosting the plein air, the kickoff for the
Yep.
plein air,
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and Engers
Yeah.
and Volker.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of painters all around.
Yeah.
town.
Yeah.
So.
You were right about the waves. We were out there yesterday.
Well, you know what I was thinking was, remember that boy that was swept out to sea?
Oh,
last
yeah.
week, like 2 weekends ago. And,
Yeah. Wow, how scary.
So scary. But you know what? There was a group of boys about the same age on the rocks on Atlantic Road, and I just wanted to,
It's sometimes scary to see them out there. I know.
They were joking and fooling around, and I
Not
just
really
thought,
paying
not
attention.
paying attention, and I just thought, wow. So I would have said something to them, but they were coming off the rocks, while I was
Right.
photographing. So it was just, but it was so beautiful. It was so atmospheric. Like usually when we have these big waves, it's more like wintertime.
Mhm.
This was so. There was a lot of a lot of moisture in the air, so it was just very misty and giant waves. It was really beautiful. The photos didn't come out that great. I mean, they came out interesting in some ways, but not that great because it's like a fine mist everywhere.
Right.
So.
Yeah, we had a similar experience.
I was thinking about that, what you were saying there, Kim, but, what's the fine line? You're driving up Atlantic Road and you see all that, do we pull over and we shout out and say, listen, you really have to be, do we throw it out there? Do we just keep going?
Throw what out there?
Like, hey,
the
you have to
kids.
be careful on the
Oh,
road.
Well, see, I did pull over, and I was getting out of my car, and they were starting to walk because I'd watched them from another vantage point for a few seconds, and it was like they were like dipping down to the, and so I, it was faster for me to pull up.
It's hard not to be the mom or the teacher or it's hard to turn that stuff off.
Yeah, they probably would have just laughed, but who cares? At least they had it in their brain.
And you felt like you said something.
Right, and then also they would, and if they saw that an adult was watching and noticing their behavior, then maybe they would, say, oh, let's go off and do something else. You know
So-
what I mean? Even if they didn't listen, they
So
might.
maybe you can speak to this. And I went out on the whale watch this week at Cape Ann Whale Watch, which was wonderful, as they always are. And it said the warning was it's choppy today. The seas are choppy.
Right.
And a couple days later, I went in and there was a sign that said the seas are rolly today. So I don't know. I'm wondering
Difference between rolly and choppy?
Yes.
Worse.
Yeah.
Choppy and rolly. I think rolly. I don't know. They both sound bad.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to tell you what I think. What I think the difference
What the
is.
degree is.
No, what the difference is. So, when you go to the weather, marine boat weather report,
Right.
they give you height of the waves, then they give you the time between each wave. So a chop is tighter
Oh, okay.
than a roll.
Roll.
A roll, if you can look at it like this,
Oh.
a roll is like this,
Right. Okay.
right? And a chop is like
Right. We
Like this.
Right. We can see. I can see the difference out there.
Yeah.
But
so. Rolling and choppy is,
It's very different.
for all intents and purposes, very different.
Okay.
What's worse for like when you're on a boat? What makes you maybe
So
more
I think-
uncomfortable? Choppy
You
or
I don't want to speak as a captain because I'm not a captain, but my thinking is a long slow roll would give you queasiness.
queasiness? Okay.
You know, chop, like a
So
chop.
choppy.
If a boat's like
Right,
chop, the boat
Right.
can still be kind of steady.
Steady.
A roll,
rolly.
a boat was going
Okay.
like this the whole time.
And that's what it was doing Friday and Saturday. It was beautiful.
So here's the story. So Kate showed me a video from the back shore Friday afternoon
Yeah.
of a wedding party.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw them getting married.
Huh?
I saw them getting married.
Did you see them on the rocks getting a photo taken?
No, then we were just talking about that. There were a group of boys out there.
There was
It was
an adult couple, married, wedding dress, tuxedo, out on the rock. A wave came. The wave literally behind. It looked like spectacular, right up until the moment where you realized that they were going to get drenched. The wave went about 25, 30 feet in the air, came down, and they were running to try to avoid it. And I don't know how, if she was wearing, if she was wearing like heels that she didn't wipe out. But the wave came right over them. I asked Kate to send me the video so I could post it because it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
It's so
thankful that they didn't get hurt or
Right,
anything
it's
like
so
that. But in my head was she's like,
Memorable.
no, I'm not gonna share this for someone
We'll
that's
wait
that
till
embarrassing.
next time.
But in the other part of we were saying this in the elevator was, I can't believe that they're gonna have this being captured. They will have memories
Exactly.
forever of this moment.
Right.
You know, they didn't get hurt, and I'm sure. You know, it depends on the temperament of the woman,
Right.
right? Because the woman could be laugh it off, or she could
Relax with it,
let
she
her
could be, yeah.
let it ruin her wedding.
but
You
I'm
know?
also thinking about the photography equipment.
Right.
No, the photography. They were like
back.
kind of up on the street. It was a
Oh,
wide
okay.
shot.
Oh, okay.
It was wild. It was something to see, and I honestly believe if I could place this bet, if they submitted it to America's Funniest Home Videos, there is not a question in my mind that it would make it to the show.
She would make it to the show.
Not even a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were just saying that there was a group of boys out on the rocks, and they were, living
scary.
a little dangerously. And I was thinking about that 13-year-old
They
boy
got
that
swept
got
out.
swept out. And right around there, I went on a house tour there years ago, a house and garden tour, and there was a portrait and a memorial plaque to the woman who had one of their ancestors who had gone for a walk out on the rocks and had been swept out to sea. So
You remember EJ's friend
right, Right.
over there by
right, two. Wasn't it two?
friends?
Wasn't
Oh,
it
there was
one?
two people within. One of them was EJ's friend, and one of them
Right.
was some other person that same weekend. That
right. No,
that had.
didn't they jump in to save
Oh,
the person?
is that what it- how
I
it
think
went?
it was, yeah.
It's horrible. Yeah, terrible
so
to think about.
People just don't,
They don't really
they don't
realize the
realize
power
about
of the
those
ocean.
They don't realize about those rogue waves too.
Right. There's not some. So I think
Yeah.
a lot of people they live away from the ocean, and they're dealing in widgets and quantifiable, speed limits and machinery that have,
Right.
measurable effects in their lives, and things are built around their safety, and laws are there to protect them from safety and stuff. And like when you're dealing with the ocean and Mother Nature,
Right. It's
like
in there.
all bets are off.
Right.
All bets
Right.
are off.
Right.
I
I always try, like, 'cause I'm out so early in the morning, in precarious places, but I always try to think of backup plans and just being very careful.
Right.
Yeah, no question. I want to give a shout out to shout out to Warren Waugh and Karen Hansen. Karen Hansen, the Angle and Volklers hosted the thing for the Cape Ann Plein Air kickoff event at Warren's house on Muscle Point, and
I've been to a party there before. It's beautiful. Yeah. Amazing location.
Safathia
amazing
cooking,
food, right,
Susan
yeah.
Coviello helping Safathia, the people,
wonderful.
the food, the
No, I
drinks.
saw somebody grilling. There's a picture of somebody.
Yeah, Jeff
grilling.
Wilkes. Jeff Wilkes
Yeah.
was grilling on. Warren had just bought a beautiful grill from Foster's, and it was grilling hamburgers.
Okay.
The hamburger meat came from Warren's place, Nauset Farms, down in the Cape.
Okay, wow.
And what I found out about Nauset Farms is there was this I've never been there, but I'm guessing that it is like a Willow Rest,
Yeah.
but with meats and stuff, like
Yeah.
a really upscale, nice
larger,
place.
Large
And this place was going to go out of business for one. Either the people were retiring, or
Right.
they were going to sell it or something. And this is the story that I got. I could be wrong, but I think this is the story that I got. Is that Warren bought this place, and is running it, and the employees that were working there are getting the profits or something like that. It's run out almost like a
great.
non-profit.
Wow,
That's kind of
that-
guy
yeah.
this is.
Right, that's amazing.
You know?
That's
Yeah.
tremendous. There's,
He believed in it, and he believed in the crew, and he said,
Gave money to the technical school. He gives money to this. He gives money to that.
I've
It's
seen
just
that
a great
around
guy.
communities where people really want to preserve their local farms, and people really step up. That's great.
Yeah, really
that
cool.
Warren did
Well, you
that.
got people, and
Yeah.
it takes people like that, and
to help finance it.
yeah.
So while you were gone, Pauline Brezhnehan checked in to
Hey, Pauline.
to let us know that she won't be in Ipswich today for the Trails and Sales event that's in the catalog because she's not feeling well.
Oh.
She's going to do a painting demo, and she wants to thank us for letting everybody know.
Oh, thank you, Pauline.
Can
I hope
she,
you feel better.
Can she ask us a quick question so we can give her the Twinkies? Because
We still have Twinkies.
Oh, Paula did not. Paula got
Paula
the Twinkies.
did not give us a topic. No, we're going to have a hard line on
Son
that.
of a bitch. Rotten person. Quickly to mention, I like to give people. I like to give people updates on my National Grid bill. I have a $500 credit on my National Grid electric bill,
I wish we had electric heat.
and I have a couple more months of good energy producing from my solar panels. So I figured I'm going to go
That's
into
great.
another winter
Yeah.
not
That's
paying
awesome.
not paying for heat.
Awesome.
So
How can that be? That's just amazing.
that's a great move.
it's ridiculous.
You might have a
Great.
message on Messenger that somebody wants shared. It just blinked on here quick. Something about an event coming up.
Cape Ann community is having a fundraiser at the Gloucester House with safety. Hope you can make it. That is from Michelle Lee. So
Okay.
there you go. We
Thank
just
you.
read
Thank you,
that.
Michelle.
That's nice.
Thank you,
that she
Michelle.
piped
Yeah,
in with that.
posted about it on the
Yes,
blog.
I did. See
That's a good reminder. I think that wraps it up. We're at an hour and 7 minutes.
Very good.
Plus, because we didn't start.
Oh, plus, yeah.
Oh,
So if
yeah.
you're listening to this audio podcast, if you want to see the behind the scenes, go to the Good Morning Gloucester Facebook page. I'll have it sticky to the top, the video version. People that are watching on video already know this, but for the people that get the audio podcast, there was probably about 10 minutes prior to us starting the
That we didn't.
podcast.
And it's
that we did.
genius. I mean,
It's awesome.
yeah.
I love it. Yeah, we have double backup here.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna sign off. GloucesterCast 358 is now in the